The early morning sun casts a warm glow across Heartland Ranch, painting the fields gold and amber. Horses graze quietly, their soft nickers and the distant rustle of trees creating a serene rhythm. But beneath the calm, a tension hums, almost invisible, like the first shiver of wind before a storm. Amy stands at the edge of the yard, boots crunching against the gravel as her gaze drifts over the open fields. Every inch of this land holds memories, echoes of laughter, loss, and the quiet moments that have shaped her life. Today, though, the familiar peace feels fragile, as if the ranch itself is holding its breath. She tightens her hands against the fence rail, knuckles white, trying to anchor herself in the steady rhythm of work and horses. Nathan leans casually against the rail nearby, yet his presence is anything but casual. He belongs to the world outside Heartland, a man with an intensity that refuses to be ignored. His eyes follow her, calm but probing, carrying something softer beneath the quiet determination. A question, a challenge, an invitation. For Amy, the sight of him stirs a restlessness she cannot quite name. Their first words are careful, almost casual, but the silence around them amplifies every syllable. Amy asks if he's been waiting long, and Nathan shakes his head, a faint smile touching his lips. He doesn't waste time on small talk. His presence itself is the message. Change is coming, and it begins here. Amy's eyes drift to the horses beyond the fence. She searches for answers in their steady movements, in the calm of the land, but the unease refuses to leave. Nathan doesn't push. He allows the silence to linger, giving her space but closing no doors. And slowly it becomes clear. This isn't just about a conversation. This is a test of trust, courage, and the willingness to risk more than the physical safety of the ranch. Finally, he speaks, his voice breaking the quiet morning. Amy, I want you to take a chance. To step into something bigger than yourself. The words hit her with a weight she wasn't expecting. Her chest tightens, the familiar tug of fear and doubt threading through her like invisible barbs. What if it all falls apart? She asks, her voice barely louder than a whisper. It's not just about Nathan's request. It's about every risk she's ever taken, every loss she's survived, every fragile piece of stability she has fought to protect. Nathan takes a step closer, careful, deliberate. What if it doesn't? His gaze locks with hers, steady and certain. The simplicity of the reply belies its power. Amy feels the pull of possibility, the dangerous allure of hope. But she hesitates. Every fiber of her being wants to stay rooted in what she knows, in what she can control. Safety has always been survival. Risk has always meant loss. The horses shift restlessly in the pasture, their hooves drumming lightly against the soft earth as though sensing the tension. Amy grips the fence rail again, finding something tangible to hold onto as she battles the fear rising inside her. Nathan doesn't close the distance, but he lets his presence fill the space between them. Steady and unwavering. You're scared, he says softly. Not accusing, just stating what's already there in the air. Amy's jaw tightens. She wants to deny it, but she can't. Fear has been her silent companion ever since grief carved itself into her life. Fear of giving too much, of trusting too easily, of letting someone in and losing them again. Nathan doesn't flinch. He meets her gaze with a quiet intensity. I've lost too, he admits, voice low, almost breaking. I know what it feels like to stand in ruins and wonder if you'll ever build again. But Amy, if we never risk, we never heal. The words hit her like a jolt of electricity. She wants to argue, to claim that stability is survival, that the ranch and her family demand caution. Yet inside, another voice rises, the one she has been hiding, buried beneath years of vigilance and heartbreak. The voice that remembers what it's like to hope, to believe, to feel alive. Nathan's presence isn't forceful. It's steady, unwavering. I'm not asking you to risk everything alone, he adds, softer now. I'm asking you to risk it with me. And there it is. The weight of possibility, the promise of partnership, and the terrifying thrill of opening her heart again. Amy swallows hard, silence stretching between them like a tightrope. She feels the pull, the tug of the unknown, and the undeniable spark of something she hasn't allowed herself to feel in a long time. Hope. Her mind races, imagining the ripple effects of saying yes, the conversations, the protests, the questions, the judgment, Jack's stern voice, Lou's cautious warnings, the eyes of everyone who has ever relied on her for strength. A choice here is more than a choice. It is a test of resilience, courage, and love. Amy releases the fence rail, trembling slightly. She turns fully toward Nathan, the walls around her heart beginning to crack. Her eyes are fiery and vulnerable all at once, reflecting the conflict inside her. "You don't understand what you're asking," she whispers, not in anger but in the ache of memory and loss. Nathan doesn't step back. "I do understand," he says softly, his own vulnerability surfacing. "I know what it feels like to stand on the edge. But avoiding risk doesn't protect us. It keeps us from living." Amy's chest tightens. Every past mistake, every heartbreak, every loss threatens to pull her back. Yet Nathan's words linger, quiet and unyielding, seeping into the cracks she has built around herself. "If we take this step," he says, lowering his tone, "it won't be easy, but nothing worth holding on to ever is." Amy feels the truth in his words. It isn't just about fear anymore. It's about possibility. About the chance to step into a version of herself she has yet to meet. Brave, alive, willing to risk more than she ever thought possible. The silence stretches again, heavy but charged. The future waits unformed and both of them feel its weight. Amy's lips part as if to speak, but she stops. Her eyes close briefly, breathing in the scent of hay, of the ranch, of a life that has always been her anchor. Nathan doesn't press. He lets the pause exist, a quiet challenge and a gentle invitation all at once. Finally, Amy opens her eyes, and something has changed. It's not a decision, not yet, but a spark flickers there, a dangerous, thrilling spark. The ranch around them breathes, horses grazing, wind rustling the trees, life carrying on as if nothing has shifted. But for Amy, everything has shifted. The spark of possibility burns quietly, promising change, risk, and maybe, just maybe, a new beginning. The camera pulls back to reveal the vast expanse of Heartland Ranch, golden fields stretching endlessly under the morning sun. And there, between Amy and Nathan, the air hums with the weight of a choice that could alter everything. Not silence, not stasis, but promise. The sun climbs higher over Heartland Ranch, casting long shadows across the fields. The golden morning light turns into a brighter, warmer day, but inside Amy, the storm of emotions still rages. She walks through the barn slowly, her fingers brushing over the wooden walls, tracing the grooves and scratches left by years of life lived here. Every sound, the gentle nickers of the horses, the soft scrape of hay in a stall, reminds her of what's at stake. Nathan follows quietly, giving her space but never leaving her sight. He doesn't speak immediately, letting the rhythm of the barn and the horses fill the silence. Yet every so often, his gaze flicks to hers, steady and patient, like he's silently promising that whatever comes next, he's here to shoulder it with her. Amy pauses beside Spartan's stall, her eyes lingering on the horse as if he could offer guidance, a secret of how to balance caution and trust. "I don't know if I can do this," she admits, voice low. Not about the ranch, not about the work, but about letting someone in again, about letting Nathan in. Nathan steps closer, careful to respect her space. "You don't have to decide today," he says gently. "You just have to know that I'm here. When you're ready, I'll be ready too." Amy exhales, the tension in her shoulders easing just a fraction. She studies Nathan, really studies him this time, noticing the subtle kindness in his expression, the quiet determination that doesn't demand, but invites. It's different from anything she's felt since Ty left, a presence that doesn't replace but complements. Outside, the sound of a truck rolling up the driveway breaks the quiet. Amy glances toward the door to see Jack stepping out, carrying tools for fence repairs. His eyes flick to Nathan, a brief moment of assessment, the way Jack always evaluates before trusting. But he doesn't speak, just nods once as if to say, "We'll see." Amy turns back to the horses, grateful for the distraction, but her mind is already spinning. Lindy, quiet and watchful, appears at the edge of the barn. She's been keeping to herself, carrying a small photo of her father everywhere she goes. Her face is tense, her small hands gripping the edges like a lifeline. She's wary of Nathan, unsure what he means to her family, to her mother, to her memories of Ty. Amy notices her daughter's gaze and calls softly, "Sweetheart, come here for a minute." Lindy hesitates, her little boots hesitant on the barn floor before stepping closer. Amy kneels to meet her eyes. Nathan isn't here to replace anyone. He's just here to help us. To help me. Lindy's lips press into a thin line. "But he's not Daddy," she whispers, the words heavy with conviction. "No," Amy agrees, voice soft. "He's not, and he never will be. But sometimes, people can be here to make things a little easier, to share the load." Nathan kneels slightly at the edge of the stall, careful not to intrude. "I just want to help, Lindy, that's it. No one can replace your dad, ever. But if I can make things a little lighter for your mom, for you, I want to try." Lindy studies him, uncertainty and caution warring with the small flicker of hope in her eyes. She takes a slow breath, still clutching the photo, and finally nods slightly, though the tension in her shoulders remains. Amy reaches out and tucks a loose strand of hair behind her daughter's ear, a small gesture of reassurance. Later, Nathan and Amy move outside to inspect the fences along the pastures. The work is quiet, physical, grounding. Nathan works diligently, letting his actions speak louder than words. Amy watches him from time to time, noting how he respects her space, how he treats the land as though it's sacred, just like she does. Slowly, the edges of her resistance begin to soften. The afternoon sun casts long shadows over the fields. Horses graze lazily, unaware of the subtle emotional shifts around them. Lindy sits on the porch, sketching quietly, the photo of her dad beside her. Occasionally she glances toward Nathan, curiosity softening the guarded expression on her face. She isn't ready to trust, but she's beginning to observe, to understand, that he doesn't threaten what she holds most dear. By evening, the air carries the scent of fresh hay and rain-soaked earth. Amy stands at the fence, watching the sunset paint the ranch in fiery oranges and purples. Nathan joins her quietly, the space between them comfortable now. No words are necessary. Their shared silence is an unspoken agreement. Trust and possibility take time, and patience can be as powerful as courage. Lindy runs down the steps from the porch, holding the photo carefully. "Mom, he's nice," she says softly, more a statement than a question. Amy smiles, relief washing over her. Nathan looks at the girl, offering a small, genuine smile. "Thanks, Lindy. That means a lot." As the sky darkens and stars begin to prick the night, the ranch settles into quiet serenity. But beneath the surface, a subtle shift has occurred. Walls that once seemed unbreakable have tiny cracks. Trust is budding. Fear is still present, but so is hope. And for Amy, Nathan, and Lindy, the first tentative steps toward healing and change have begun. The camera pulls back to reveal Heartland Ranch under the twilight sky. Horses nicker softly in the distance. The wind rustles through the fields. And somewhere in that vast open space, hearts are starting to learn that moving forward doesn't mean forgetting. It means finding strength to live again. Night falls over Heartland Ranch, but the quiet is deceptive. Inside, hearts are still restless. Amy tucks Lindy into bed, the little girl clutching Ty's photo like a lifeline. "Night, sweetheart," Amy whispers, brushing a strand of hair from her face. "Remember, your dad's always with us, in every memory we hold." Lindy nods, eyes heavy with sleep, but bright with trust. "I know, Mom, I wish he could see us." Amy leans down, pressing her forehead to Lindy's gently. "I know, baby, but the way we carry him, that's how he sees us. Always." Outside, the ranch is bathed in silver moonlight. Nathan tends to the horses, moving quietly, mindful not to disturb the fragile peace. The barn smells of hay and warmth, carrying faint echoes of laughter and long-gone conversations. He pauses by Ty's old saddle, lingering on the leather worn soft with years of care. A quiet respect fills him, a recognition that some spaces are sacred, untouchable by time or change. Amy steps outside again, drawn to the calm night. She stands near the fence, staring into the fields. Nathan approaches, offering a small, cautious smile. "It's a lot to take in," he says softly. Amy nods without turning. "It is. Some days I feel like the past is a shadow I can't shake." Nathan steps closer but keeps his distance. "You don't have to shake it off alone," he says. "I can be here if you let me." Amy exhales, tension easing from her shoulders slightly. The words are simple, but they carry weight, a promise of patience, of understanding. She finally turns, eyes meeting his. "It's not easy," she admits. "I've spent years holding on to what was afraid of losing it again." Nathan nods, his gaze steady. "I get that. And I'm not asking you to forget or replace anything, just to let me help carry it." From inside the house, faint laughter drifts. Lindy, dreaming perhaps, caught between memory and hope. Amy glances toward the window, a bittersweet ache in her chest. Nathan watches her watch the past and the present merge in her eyes. It's in that quiet understanding that a fragile trust begins to form, the kind built on patience and respect rather than words alone. The next morning, the ranch wakes with a renewed sense of possibility. Horses paw at the ground, the fields gleaming after a soft dawn rain. Amy walks alongside Nathan as they check fences together. Their movements are coordinated, natural, like two halves learning to work as one. There's no rush, no forced closeness, only the shared rhythm of work and the slow building of connection. Lindy joins them eventually, hesitant at first, carrying her father's photo. She studies Nathan carefully, her little mind weighing trust and loyalty. Amy notices and offers a small smile, a silent encouragement. Nathan kneels beside her, gentle, unassuming. "I'll never take his place, Lindy," he says softly. "But I can be here when you need someone to help you, like your mom." Lindy studies him, then nods slowly. It's not full acceptance, but it's a start. The beginning of letting someone new into a carefully guarded space. By evening, the ranch glows under a soft sunset. Horses graze lazily, the sky painted in shades of pink and gold. Amy stands on the porch, watching her daughter and Nathan work together to carry a bale of hay. The moment is simple, ordinary even, yet profound. Trust, patience, and tentative bonds forming in real time. Amy turns to Nathan, a small, genuine smile breaking through the lingering worry. Maybe we can find a way to do this," she says softly. Nathan mirrors her smile, a silent promise in his eyes. "We will." Step by step. The camera pulls back to capture Heartland Ranch in full view, fields stretching into the horizon, horses moving freely, a family beginning to heal. The storm has passed, but the journey toward trust and love continues. And for Amy, Nathan, and Lindy, each day brings the chance to rebuild, to honor the past while stepping cautiously toward the future. The next morning dawns crisp and clear, but the peace of Heartland Ranch is about to be tested. Amy steps outside, coffee in hand, taking in the familiar sights, the horses grazing, the fields stretching into the horizon, the soft golden light falling across the barns. Everything seems calm, almost too calm. Nathan is already at the barn checking supplies. "Morning," he calls, voice carrying easily in the open air. Amy nods, offering a small smile. But there's a tension lingering in the air, an unease that neither of them can shake. From the far edge of the property, a dust cloud rises, the unmistakable sign of a vehicle approaching. Amy's heart tightens. The ranch has been quiet for years, but now something feels off. Nathan notices it too. "That's not usual traffic," he mutters. His tone carries a subtle edge, protective. The vehicle slows near the fence, and a man steps out, mid-40s, rugged, with a look that instantly puts Amy on alert. He carries papers, a clipboard, and a presence that commands attention. Amy's stomach twists. She recognizes the name from earlier letters she'd hoped never to see again. A land developer, seeking to buy up parts of the Heartland property for commercial purposes. Amy swallows hard, tightening her grip on her coffee. "We're not selling," she says firmly before the man can even speak. The developer smiles, a calculating, smooth expression. "I'm not here to negotiate yet. I just want to show you the plans. It could be profitable, easier than keeping up with all this land, all these animals. You could finally step back." Nathan steps in front of Amy, his body protective. "Heartland isn't for sale," he says, voice steady but firm. "And no one's going to convince Amy otherwise." Amy's jaw tightens. She feels the weight of her family's legacy pressing down, the years of love, labor, and sacrifice that have built this place into more than just land. Heartland isn't just property. It's memory, history, and home. She glances toward the barn where horses look up, ears pricked, sensing the tension. The developer doesn't flinch. "I understand emotions run deep," he says smoothly. "But numbers speak louder than sentiment. And I assure you, this could benefit everyone here." Amy shakes her head, voice rising. "I don't care about numbers. This ranch belongs to my family. It's not yours to take, and it's not for sale." Nathan places a steadying hand on her shoulder. "Let's handle this calmly," he says, though his eyes never leave the developer. "You're not going to pressure us." The developer smirks, sensing the battle isn't about reason. "We'll see," he says cryptically, turning toward his truck. Opportunities don't wait forever. As he drives off, Amy exhales, tension leaving her body in a rush. She feels Nathan's steady presence beside her, grounding her. But the moment of calm is brief. The threat is real. Someone wants a part of Heartland, and they aren't backing down. Later, Amy gathers her family. Jack, Lou, and even Lindy listen as she explains the situation. The air is heavy with worry, but also determination. "This is our home," Amy says, her voice strong. "We've built this together, and we're not letting anyone take it away." Nathan kneels beside Lindy, giving her a reassuring smile. "We're going to protect this place. Together." Jack nods, eyes hard with resolve. "We've faced storms before. This is no different. We fight, we endure, we keep Heartland alive. That's what we do." The camera pans across the ranch, the fields, the barns, the horses, all bathed in late afternoon sunlight. The shadows are long, a reminder that challenges are coming, but the warmth remains, carrying the promise of resilience. As night falls, Amy stands by the fence, looking at the horizon. Nathan joins her quietly. She doesn't speak, but he doesn't need words. They share a look of mutual understanding. The battle for Heartland has just begun, but they're not facing it alone. The wind rustles through the trees, carrying the sound of distant hooves, a reminder that life on the ranch continues. And as Amy gazes out over the land, she feels the pulse of Heartland, strong, unyielding, alive. And she knows that no matter what comes, they will face it together. The sun rises over Heartland Ranch, painting the fields in a soft golden light. But the calm is deceptive. Amy walks the perimeter of the pasture, her fingers brushing the fence posts, her eyes scanning the horizon. There's tension in the air, a storm brewing that has nothing to do with the weather. Nathan rides up quietly on his horse, the sound of hooves stirring the morning mist. He slows, letting Amy process the moment before speaking. "They're serious this time," he says, his voice low. "The developer isn't just testing us anymore. They want the ranch, and they won't stop until they get it." Amy exhales, her chest tight. She had known this day might come, but knowing didn't make it easier. Heartland isn't just a place. It's a legacy, a lifeline for their family and for the community that relies on it. "I've spent my life protecting this place," she says, voice trembling. "And I'll fight for it. No matter what." Nathan nods, eyes steady. "Then we fight together. And this time, we don't hold anything back." Jack approaches from the barn, arms crossed. his usual stoicism masking the worry he feels. Amy, Nathan's right. If they think we'll let them bulldoze what we love, they've got another thing coming. But we need a plan. Smart, careful, and united. Amy's gaze moves to Lindy, who stands nearby clutching Ty's photo, her small shoulders tense. Even at her age, she understands the gravity of what's at stake. Amy kneels down, brushing a strand of hair from Lindy's face. We'll protect Heartland, she whispers. Together. Word spreads quickly through the town. Friends, neighbors, and longtime ranchers gather at Heartland, determined to stand alongside the family. There's a sense of unity, of shared purpose that feels almost electric. Horses nicker, dogs bark, and the air hums with anticipation. The first confrontation comes in the form of sleek black trucks rolling down the dirt road. Men in suits step out, measuring equipment in hand, expressions cold and professional. Nathan rides forward to meet them, hand on the reins, eyes hard. This is private property, he says firmly. And you're not welcome here. One of the men smirks, clipboard in hand. We've made arrangements. The purchase is legal. You're in the way. Amy steps forward, her boots crunching against the gravel. Heartland isn't just land, she says, her voice rising with conviction. It's a home, a family, a legacy, and we will not let you take it from us. The tension thickens as words are exchanged, the early morning calm now shattered. Nathan moves to stand beside Amy, Jack on her other side, and even Lindy peers over from behind the fence, her eyes wide but determined. Hours pass. Strategies are discussed, objections are filed, and the community rallies. Each voice adds weight to the fight. The developer may have money, but Heartland has something more powerful: history, love, and an unbreakable bond. By late afternoon, the first signs of victory appear. A legal maneuver Nathan had prepared delays the project. The men in suits grow frustrated, realizing that Heartland won't fall quietly. Amy watches the sunset, the warm glow reflecting off the fences and the horses grazing peacefully despite the day's chaos. She feels a surge of relief, tempered with the knowledge that the fight isn't over. But today, they stood their ground, and that counts. Nathan sidles up beside her, handing her a cup of coffee. Their hands brush, and she allows herself a small smile. We did it, she says softly. Today, Nathan replies, voice steady. Tomorrow we do it again if we have to. Together. Amy nods, feeling the truth of his words. She glances at Lindy, who waves from the porch with a tentative smile. Hope, like the first rays of morning sun, feels fragile but real. The camera pans over Heartland Ranch as the sky darkens into twilight. Horses trot, the wind whispers through the fields, and the family stands united, stronger for the trials they've faced. For the first time in a long while, Amy feels something shift inside her. Fear hasn't vanished, but courage has taken root. The storm may not be over, but the family, the ranch, and the legacy of Heartland remain unbroken. The screen fades to black with the soft words, "Together, we endure."